I think more kings have lost their kingdoms to treacherous behavior and betrayal than they have to enemy action. I think it's the number one threat to any man of genuine competence in the world today. And I will say that weak people will always betray you in the end, even if they don't want to. Because weak people simply do not have the capability to resist for long enough to avoid the betrayal. So when you analyze something like betrayal, you have to understand very well, nearly everyone you protect and provide for has a limit to which they would eventually betray you. It's funny, we just finished talking about women because 99.9% of women will eventually betray you. And I'm not trying to be insulting to women. I'm not trying to be misogynistic. What I'm saying is that women cannot resist like a man can resist. If you put a woman in a room and tell her she does not leave that jail cell until she gives you up, she will give you up faster than your brother will. Because she can't take the heat. She can't take the pressure. She can't take the stress. She's too weak to take it. It's not bad. I'm not calling her a bad person. I'm not insulting her. This is the bottom line. She's just too weak. So when you look at things like betrayal, you have to analyze who betrayed you out of genuine malice and who betrayed you out of a lack of capability. If I'm holding your hand and I'm on the edge of a cliff and you're holding my hand and you hold as long as you can and your arm gives way and I die, is that betrayal or did you do your best? Letting go of me is betrayal. But it's actually quite interesting when I analyze the times I was betrayed. Could these people have even done any better than they did? Which then makes you analyze the meta point of who's in your life in the first place and how capable are each of these individuals in certain scenarios.
And why did you let them in?
Well, that's right. Planet hero. So then what do you do with all the weak people in your life? Because I do have females in my life and some weak guys among the people I know. Well, now you have to curate your relationships and your realities with them in a way that makes it very difficult for them to betray. I've had girlfriends for 5 years who don't know my job. They don't know my address. They don't know where my property is located. They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything. You can tie them to a chair and electrocute them all day long. They don't know anything about me that matters. Now, I'm not doing that to be a bad person. I'm doing that to protect them from betraying me. I take responsibility for the times I was betrayed, is what I'm trying to say. I don't blame the people who betrayed me. People can only do what they can do. And unfortunately, a lot of people are pretty shit at most things. A lot of people are very incompetent, extremely incompetent. Yesterday, I beat the fuck out of 60 dudes in a row. People suck. So if I was betrayed by somebody, I don't blame them for the betrayal. I blame myself for putting them in a position where I expected more of them. If I put my knight on a square in the board and he gets trapped and dies, I blame myself. I don't blame the knight. These people couldn't have done any better. I have to be careful what I say because of my current legal predicaments and also certain things I don't want to share with the internet. There's been a whole bunch of times people have done it, but if I actually analyze the scenario and the story, I still have to truly blame myself, even if I wasn't to blame, because I have the most competitive mindset if I blame myself for it, because if everything's my fault, then I have all the control, which means I'm going to alter my actions going forward. If I don't have the control, if I say, oh, this person's a traitor and I did everything perfect, well, now I'm open to be betrayed again. If I say people can be treasonous in certain scenarios, how do I alter my relationships moving forward? I'm now harder to betray. So I don't really blame these people for doing what they did. But I will say there are certain warning signs that you can see in people that make it very easy to understand if they would betray you or not.
Like what?
If I'm with a guy and he complains he's hungry and there's no food, and I say, well, there's no food yet, we'll eat later. And then he spends the next 3 hours bitching about being hungry, I get a red flag. I'm like, bro, you ate this morning. It's 4 p.m. and all you're talking about is food. I don't like that. That's weakness. That signals to me I don't like it. If I see dudes who are desperate to get laid all the time, desperate for women, that's an even bigger warning sign. Because a starving man will do anything for food. A starving man will do anything if there's a buffet ahead of him. When men are desperate for women or desperate to get laid all the time, that's the guy who tries to talk to your ex. That's the guy who tries to talk to girls. Those guys. I don't like those kind of people. Anyone who's desperate for anything, anyone who shows a lack of emotional regulation, anyone who shows a lack of physical control. I don't like fat people. I'm sorry. I just don't like fat people because they have no self-control. You have no self-control and you have no discipline. That's clear. You have no motivation, no determination. That's clear. You can't stop putting things in your mouth to live longer and be a respected member of society. So I don't like you. If I have to create my reality, I would argue that if I had me and my 6 friends all in perfect physical condition and we had one really fat guy, I would argue the fat guy would break first. I would just argue he has less self-control. Maybe I'm wrong. Of course, exceptions exist. You have to, well, I do. I assume the worst about people until they prove otherwise, right? So if I meet a really obese guy and he proves to me that he's actually a serious soldier, then of course I will take it on board and learn. But my first impression is XYZ. And he's given me that impression by his own decisions. So I would argue like a man who's obese and physically unattractive, if my ex who's a 10 were to come on to him primarily because she wants to upset me, he's more likely to betray me because he doesn't get attention from those kind of women, as opposed to a man who gets attention from those kind of women all the time. He's less likely to damage a friendship for something which is so common because value is derived from scarcity. Of course, these are all just assumptions. But yeah, betrayal is actually pretty easy to spot in advance if you understand the weakness and capability of the people around you. You just have to measure them up and just say, okay, how long would this person go to jail for me? I mean, most people, I'll be honest, I'm in a fortunate situation because yes, I can be betrayed, but also I'm very valuable to the people I know. I'm very valuable. Knowing Andrew Tate on a first name basis and being able to call his phone is an extremely valuable thing. You can make a lot of money, get a lot of status, great things happen. So people don't really want to betray me because they're going to lose a lot. But if you're a normal person, betraying you, they don't even lose anything. If you're a normal guy and your ex comes on to your friend, the reason your friend's going to fuck your ex is because that pussy's worth more than your friendship. Because you don't have anything to offer. You don't give him anything. You don't make any money with the guy. You can't tell him anything. You can't teach him anything. You're a dipshit. He's a dipshit. You sit around talking about football. You're both dipshits. And now some pussies appear. So guess what? There's someone else who'll talk about football all day long and he can fuck the pussies. That's it. So if you're a normal guy, betraying you is so easy to do because there's very little consequence to it. Betraying me has a consequence at least. So that's a benefit, I guess. It makes the betrayal more consequential for me, but there is a benefit. People are going to sit there and go, do I really want to lose Tate as a friend forever? But if you're the average man, I get this question all the time. I just want to segue. People say to me, my friend slept with my ex. What should I do? And the answer is that you deserved it, because if you're hanging around with those kind of people, you're probably a fucking loser. So you're a loser who probably would have done it to him if you had the chance. Losers flock together. It's just loser life. This loser shit. None of my exes can talk to my friend. Like, you can't. She couldn't. I'd love her to try. It's impossible because I'm not a loser. But losers hang with losers and loser shit happens. So to answer the question, sorry, I've gone on a bit, but to answer the question, the people who betrayed me, I don't think they did it out of malice. I think that they let go of me as I was hanging off the edge of the cliff simply because their arm wasn't strong enough. And what I did, once I hit the ground and bounced up with my masterful Aikido, because I cannot die, is start looking at the size and strength of people's arms for my future friendships. But this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. I know women. Back then, we just broke up and she didn't want to be together anymore. I didn't understand why. Now, me knowing what I know, was she fucking someone else? Probably. Because that's what women do. Like, I know more now. But I wouldn't say that, like, she broke my heart. I can't accept that framing, because that would mean that she took action to damage me. I can't take that framing. I felt perplexed and confused. But now with experience, my heart can no longer be broken because I can't be confused by anything. I understand the world very well now. So I think every single man who's ever been with any woman ever has had his heart broken at some time. Yes. Does that affect how I view women now? No. What affects how I view women are their own actions. Like, people will say, oh, who hurt you? You see women so bad because someone hurt you. No, I see women the way I see them, which isn't even bad. I see women in a particular light because of how they act, and I see men in a particular light because of how they act. Both sexes. This is not even a gendered argument. But I wouldn't say my heart's been broken any worse than anyone else's. In fact, I would argue that my heart's been broken less than everyone else's. I see a whole bunch of men out here who are finding out the kids aren't theirs, or they've been married for 20 years, getting divorced, losing their life's work, or losing the house. That's heartbreak. I ain't lost nothing. My kids are my kids. I ain't lost no money. I've never lost a house. I've never had to ask a judge to get rid of a bitch. Nothing. I'm fine. So I don't think my heart's been broken any worse than anyone else's. I think I'm just hyper realistic about the human nature of things. And I think that I'm very good at not becoming emotionally invested or not becoming obsessed with the idea of or hoping for some kind of fantasy I do not believe exists between humans. Like every single thing between humans is transactional. It always will be. We're in a transaction right now. You're giving me a platform and I'm giving you content, and this is a transaction. And we're friends and it's fine, but it's a transaction. For us to sit here and go, this is not transactional, we're best friends and the transaction has nothing to do with it, would be disingenuous. And it's absolutely the same between a man and a woman. Men or women, they have this illusion or this dream of, do you love me for real? Do you love me for me? That doesn't even mean anything. That's not real. I love you because you're beautiful and you do as I say, and you make me happy sometimes, and you add to my status by being hot, and we have sex, and you rub my back, and that's why I love you. Yeah, but do you love me for me? Well, what are you without those things? Well, you're a blob of goo. The blob of goo. You love me because I'm famous and rich and important and tall and strong and smart and funny and interesting and charismatic. Would you love me if I wasn't those things? Do you love me for me? Well, what is me without all of that? What am I now if I have no charisma, no money, no capability, no intellect? Am I a blob of goo? Like this whole idea of love as a non-transactional thing is so flawed in the first place. So I understand everything is transactional. And there's people who are going to sit there and go, he doesn't have a real woman who really loves him because my wife really loves me, and that poor guy, he doesn't understand real love. All right, bro. Talk to me after the divorce. Or they say, oh, women are just with him for money. My woman's not with me for money. Well, firstly, you have no money. Secondly, I've never seen a woman in a divorce court who wasn't a gold digger. Funny how they're all gold diggers in the end, isn't it? Isn't it interesting how in the end, they're all gold diggers when the divorce court comes out? Turns out maybe it's always been about resource and protection and provision. Turns out it's always been a transactional relationship. Always. So when you're young, when we talk about heartbreak, you have these ideals of love. Like, our souls connected, our spirits combined and all this bullshit. Maybe not. Don't think I ever went that far, but people in general do. But as you grow older with enough experience, you understand that everything is absolutely, completely transactional. And Dubai will teach you that faster than anywhere. Or Miami. Certain cities will teach you that. That's why the red pill has died, by the way. That's why no one talks about dating anymore on podcasts, really. Because with the internet, with Instagram, with social media, with a few key changes in the last 4 or 5 years, it's highlighted the fact that rich men get women because they're rich, and pretty women want rich men because they can afford them a certain lifestyle, and it's all just absolutely transactional. And if you're a brokey, there's nothing you can do to say to a hot girl to convince her that she doesn't want the man with the boat. On a long enough time scale, she's going to want the man with the boat. She wants the rich guy because all her friends have rich guys, and it's peer pressure and it's social media, and she gets too many invites, and sooner or later she's going to leave. That's it. I'm not saying that a richer man can always take your girl. I'm saying that you have to afford her enough of a lifestyle for her to be content in that lifestyle, for her to not chase a lifestyle. If you can't offer her any form of lifestyle, she's going to eventually fall prey to the vacuum of scrolling TikTok and watching all these girls less pretty than her with Birkin bags. Sooner or later, she'll be like, well, I want a fucking Birkin bag then. Why is this bitch better than me? That's how it goes. When I go to the club in Dubai or Miami or anywhere else, and 20 beautiful women are trying to talk to me. If I were to think that they love me for me, I'd be an idiot. And if they were to think I love them for them, they'd be an idiot. The point is, it's actually completely fine if you're logical about it. I am perfectly fine for a gold digger to attempt to gold dig me because she ain't gonna fool me into giving more than I want to give. And if she's hot enough, I'm prepared to give a little bit so that I can have her beauty and her company and her time. It's a transaction. I'm fine with it. Even if there's a loving feeling sometimes.
Do you want that?
No, but what I'm saying is, love can be a play. Love can be observed from above. Love can be, look, I love her, I pay all her bills and take care of her, and I fly her around on private jets. And look, she loves me because I'm big, strong, rich, famous Andrew. And look, we're in love. Look, we hold hands. Look, we're having a kiss. Look, you can observe it from above like you observe a play on a stage, on a theater, or observe ants having a little battle on the floor. You can observe it for what it is, but don't get caught up in it. Don't be living inside of the lie, because it's not real. It's a transactional agreement. You're business partners. My woman is not my best friend. She's my business partner. We're in the business of children, or in the business of showing off on boats, depending where you are in the hierarchy of my women. We're business partners. We have a job to complete. And you're with me because I can provide X, Y, Z. And I'm with you because you provide X, Y, Z. This whole love crap. I'm not saying I don't feel love. I'm not saying that the love is not a feeling that exists. I'm saying it's not an independent entity outside of the transaction. It's actually completely transactional. All things in life are. Maybe am I sounding psychopathic? I don't think so. I don't think it's a cold way to look at it. I think it's just the reality of things. And when you understand that, you have a different view of perhaps all of your past relationships. So we'll talk about my first ever girlfriend. What do I think happened now? I think she fucked some other guy. What did I think happened at the time? That she fell out of love with me and just didn't want to see me anymore for no reason. And I didn't understand why, because we were happy. Now, do I have a certain view of women because of that event? No. I have a certain view of women because I've learned throughout my experiences of life how women are. And also because of my status. You know, a lot of people say Andrew says bad things about women. And also another thing, like, I'm a bad guy, right? According to the media. But being a world famous bad guy, you'd be amazed how well that plays out. Like, it's actually quite incredible. And I would argue that I'm one of the most moral men on the planet. I'm the only guy I know who doesn't fuck girls who have boyfriends. They have to at least lie to me and convince me they don't have a boyfriend first. Most men don't give a shit. If there's a pretty girl and she has a boyfriend, they don't fucking care. That's his problem. And that's fine. That's human nature. I get it. I used to be that guy. Now when I meet a beautiful woman, I'm like, where's your boyfriend? I haven't got a boyfriend. Who bought you that AP? My ex. Oh, yeah. All right. When did you break up with him? I start quizzing them. And when they finally admit in the end, oh, well, yeah, I'm kind of seeing this guy. Nope. Because I don't want the bad karma of it. Because I don't care enough about women to even steal them off. I don't care enough about women to even want them off another guy. I'm so over chicks. I don't give a shit anymore. I have my wives and I've retired. I've got my 5 or 6. It's enough. I can't be bothered. Most men in my position wouldn't do that. Most men in my position would just steal everyone's girl at random, which I could do, but I don't do. So anyone who's saying, oh, Andrew says bad things about women, they're still living in this idealistic view where they believe women are not transactional and that love is love and that Disney princesses and blah, blah, blah. If they were ever in my position for a day, they'd be talking worse about women than I ever have in my life ever. Because you'd be amazed how cold and ruthless those princesses you're in love with are. You'd be amazed how cold and ruthless they are. And any man who's been around it knows that every man who's been around enough women has the stories of her answering the phone to her boyfriend in the bathroom afterwards or whatever. And you're just like, bro, it's a cold, dark place, bro. But that doesn't mean love isn't real. I'm saying you just have to approach love for what it is. You know, it's interesting. We'll talk about Lily Phillips quickly because people always ask me, Andrew, what would you say to Lily Phillips? And I see all these people trying to preach to Lily Phillips, and I don't know why. She's a whore. She knows she's a whore. She admits she's a whore, and that's fine. Like, I see Russell Brand and a few other people, and everyone's like on podcasts where they're saying, God thinks more of you. God expects more of you. No, he doesn't. God made her a whore. And there's always been whores. It's the oldest profession in the world. There's always been sluts. I mean, and men want sluts. Like, we all want a wife we can trust, and we want sluts. We want both. If we get a boat, we want it full of sluts. Here's my yacht, bring women. And if someone goes, I can bring a bunch of women, they're all blonde, they're all gorgeous, they all have big tits, but they're a bit slutty. Oh no, don't bring that. Don't bring that one. Of course you say bring them. So there's no problem with sluts and wives. There's different quality of women out there. The only problem is when a man gets confused between the two. If you're a man and your head is on straight and you can tell which wife to take seriously, which women are good women and which women are pieces of shit, and you keep everything in its correct place, you have your hose for hose and your wife for wife, and you keep everything in its correct order, then life's fine. The only men who get mad at sluts, oh, these sluts are so bad, are the men who fell in love with one thinking she was a wife when she wasn't. Lily is fulfilling a very important job in society which has existed since the dawn of human time. She's a prostitute. There's always been prostitutes. They're always going to need to be prostitutes. God's plan for Lily was what she's doing. So I don't know why anyone asked me what I'd say to her besides good work.
Keep going.
Keep guzzling cum. That's your fucking destiny. I don't give a shit. And I ain't going to fall in love with you. Because I'm not a dumbass. But there's men out here on podcasts where they're like, you're so beautiful. You could do so much more. I'm like, bro, you sound like you're about to fucking marry the bitch. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Let her. So everything's actually fine with love, with hoes, with wives, with everything's fine if you're very realistic and understand stuff in its correct order. It's a very motivating thing. If you're in a room full of ice cream experts and all they talk about is ice cream, how to move ice cream, how to sell ice cream, different flavors of ice cream, how you make ice cream, you're going to learn a lot about ice cream. If you're in a room full of people who are billionaires, and guess what they're talking about? Money. And guess what you're going to learn about? Money. I don't sit and have pointless conversations with people. I don't even know what people are talking about. If me and my friends meet, we end up talking about the earth and how it can pay us. That's what we talk about. And that's how we manage to make a bunch of money. So you have to be ruthless with your circle. And for people out there who understand this, a lot of people say they understand it, but they genuinely don't. But if you do, and you are trying to progress your circle, you need to find a way to provide value. You need to either join networks like my one on corporative.com, or you need to find a way to provide value. I'll give you an example. In Romania, I was driving and I went to a town called Plonge. It's a very small town. I went in a nice car and a kid came up to me and he said, I run the car spotting page and we take pictures of the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Can I take a picture? It's like, yeah, sure. And anyway, he took a picture of it and then he gave me his business card and he said, I just want you to know, I don't even like cars. I just knew the best way for me to meet rich people is to take photos of nice cars.
It's a great story.
I was like, you're smart. I hired him.
I'm not surprised.
He works for me. Yeah. He still works for me for this day. Yeah. He was smart enough to go, where's the money over there? Yeah. How do I get close to the money? Oh, they don't want to talk to me. But if I take cool photos of his car, he might want to talk to me. You have to find a way to provide value to people. Yeah. If you provide value and it's a value exchange, you'll do good. But yeah, I say this to people and they go, oh, but my friend, and we have a good time together. Well, if you're going to prioritize your friends by drinking and having fun, then you're going to have a bunch of fucking loser friends. That's your life and that's your life to live. It's fine. Don't complain when the NHS are on strike and you can't get seen and I'm in a private hospital in fucking Saudi. That's your problem. You have to just make your decisions in life and live true to them. But creating a circle is ultra important. And it's not just important financially, it's also important for your entire life and your mindset as a whole. Because it's amazing, especially amongst men, we never want to be the poorest person in the room. We never want to be the weakest person in the room. You never want to be, so if you're with a group of killers, you have now this massive expectation. It's almost like societal pressure and a positive force. If I go to my friends, I can't be the weakling. If everyone does X amount of push-ups, I have to do them. That's it. So you can get, just like peer pressure can be a negative, peer pressure can be a massive positive and it can accelerate you towards the moon. You can get an upward spiral. So My team, it's not just about how we make money. It's also an entire mindset. I don't want to be the only scared one in the group. If me and my 6 closest friends are walking down the street and a couple guys came up to us with machetes.
motherfucker! I'm back! Motherfucker, the purpose is you. We forget that. Every fucking day I wake up and I don't want to do some fucking shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? So it's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit when you ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks. You're in the fucking dungeon. But guess what, motherfucker? I'm still going to get it. Because when that time comes, because the time is going to come, when that purpose is there, you'll be ready. I found out through this path of life, who is David Goggins? Who am I? So going through I did it alone. There was no fucking trophy on the fucking wall on the mantle. That trophy's in my fucking brain. No one helped me get there. No one paid my fucking bills. No one did shit for me. No one ran those fucking miles, lost that fucking weight, went through it. I suffered on my own and developed this man who said, it's who I am, man. A very competitive, ultra competitive dude that take it what you want, man. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. Self-discipline is everything. And if you don't have it, I don't look at you right, because I know you're capable of more. It's not discipline so much for me. It's all on you. It's all on you. The self part is what's big. We need someone to hold people accountable. Fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit. We count on people too much to get us through shit. And we look to our right, we look to our left, we're looking for help. And if you can build that self, you can build that total accountability in oneself. And it's not about being selfish. I'm trying to create a better me. So hopefully people who are hearing this are taking it the right way, can say, I can run a mile. It ain't about running 205 fucking miles, doing 4,000, being a city. It ain't about all that shit. Shit doesn't matter. I want you to see how fucking far you can go. And that's all it's about, yourself. You're lazy. You know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Because even me, in my state of, I can't read and write, I knew exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. It sucks to do it. It sucks to wake up every morning of your life and say, God, man, I'm not smart. So guess what I gotta do? I gotta study the same shit that I got one of the highest scores in the nation on, and do it again, do it again, do it again. It's not just there. It's not just there permanently for me. So yeah, it's all stick. And so many people just want it the easy way. I'm sorry, man. It's not. So what they start to do is they build this narrative of it's okay. When the narrative should be, you need to fucking work harder. You need to fucking discipline your mind better. We need to help people more than just saying it's okay. It's okay that you're not fucking willing to fucking help yourself out. That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Even though it's your life, if that's acceptable, that's unacceptable. And there's a lot of people in this world, me included, that if I accepted that, I wouldn't be anywhere.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what the fuck you're doing. You can't just fucking quit. Remember this isn't a hobby, it's in a fucking joke, it's a fucking lifestyle. So what you say to yourself is important. There's no fucking coach, there's no trainer to keep you going, it's only you. So think about this, you've been working your whole life to get a fucking seat at the table. The seat at the table is you want to be the best amongst all the best people in your fucking career field. So you finally get that letter. It's steak, lobster, it's a big dinner. Everybody's showing up, dressed to the nines. Make sure you show up soaking wet from fucking getting after it, working out hard. Towel around your neck. You respect the event. So make sure you put that towel over that nice chair so you don't fuck it up. The whole thing is this. Don't say a word. Stay uncommon amongst uncommon people. You're never done. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Stay hard.
A lot of people just fucking, they start creating a narrative about themselves that make it okay. The ultimate get out of jail free card. And now the world is set up to have so many get out of jail free cards. Everything is okay. You're just a bitch.
Correct.
You're honestly, and that's not me trying to be some after school special shit. You really are a bitch. Every single thing. So I can't wait to get in this conversation because everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That life is one big psychological warfare that you play on yourself. You play on yourself, man. The most important conversation I ever had is with myself. And the shit I was telling myself was so fucked up. It was so wrong. It was so misguided. And other people start to write that dialogue for you also. And it starts to be what you say to yourself every single day. And I started creating a whole nother warfare. A whole nother battle started becoming. I was like, oh, hang on a second, Goggins. You have these tools. You have these tools. Your life was basically the perfect grounds for training for where you need to go in your life. All the beatings, all the bullying, all the, you going through learning disabilities, all the struggles. It was the absolute perfect training ground for you to go to where you need to go. And that's how I started looking at my life versus woe is me, poopy pants, kick a rock down the street mentality. It was, God just hooked you right the fuck up. He hooked you right up, man, with the perfect place. You were training for the first 18, 19, 20, you were training for this stuff, man. You had the advantage of everybody else versus, my God, they're so above me. They came from a great family. Mom and dad love them. They didn't have to learn, they didn't stutter, they didn't struggle. No, man, your struggle is what made you who you are now. So I started flipping this into a whole different, I started being a master of what I was scared of. I was scared of my mind. And I became literally a master of that mind.
Get it, David, come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Energy, let it out. 7, 8, 9, 10, a machine here. There you go, nobody works like David in this house. 13, come on. 14, come on. 15, shut that muscle down. 16, come on. Get it, 17.
They don't know me, son.
That's why there's a lot of average. And it makes me so fucking mad. Every day I walk this earth and I see average all over the fucking place. And they want to ask me, how did you do it? I can't tell you how, because you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. You're going to continue being out, because every day you wake up, like he says, like get the coffee, make the pancakes, kiss the girl, kiss the kids. You wake up, right to work. Immediately your mind is in action. No one wants to do that. No one. I don't blame them.
Get it, 18.
They don't know me, son.
Get it, 19.
They don't know me, son.
Yeah, 20, you got some more in you. 21, yeah, get it again. Come on, we want to see it. Good, 22.
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs?
That's you, buddy.
What the hell were you all waiting for to start attacking life? You waiting for the fucking stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we had this big old rucksack on the back. Had batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is the shit you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're the least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the fuck up and do it. Stay home.
Because this world we live in is tough. It's tough. It will beat you down. The world and the life that we live in is the ultimate competitor. It will try to take you out. It will find your weakness and it will fucking just hammer you.
It's like a personal curse.
100%. So if I can help you build belief, build confidence to the point where nothing can hurt you because you know exactly who you are. You've faced your demons. You've been able to go on an audio book in your mind. Maybe you didn't write a book, but in your mind, you were able to hear all your past traumas. You were able to listen to it. You're able to fucking say, okay, now I can now talk to people about what I went through. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that kill people nowadays in their minds, kill them from moving forward. I'm ashamed of myself. Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. So that's the only purpose I need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school, or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself. There's been this unrelenting voice in my head. We all have this voice. It's the right or wrong voice. And a lot of times that voice guides us into comfort. And my voice guided me into comfort a lot. But I had this other voice I heard my whole life saying, hey, mother, what are you doing? Nah, man, we got to go over here. We got to go over here to that rock pile over in the corner where nobody's at. That's where victory's at. We're over there in that corner. So this voice was giving me all these answers. Now, I wasn't a real smart kid growing up, but I had this crazy voice in my head saying, over there is where the answers are. And I wouldn't listen to it because over there was pain. Over there was me looking in the mirror. Over there was me being accountable for all these things I went through my life. Even though people put them on me, it's now mine to own. And I didn't want to go over there by myself, but I had to. And this voice was guiding me there. It's God, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it was in me. This ain't you, bro. This ain't you. You weren't born like this. This ain't you, the real you, bro. This ain't you, man. But that real me back here every time is saying, that ain't you, bro. That ain't you. And I have to outwork that voice. I believe in a higher power. Don't know the name, don't know where it's coming from, don't know anything like that. But I believe that this power, and visualize me real quick. Let's say it's a man up there or a woman, whatever, and they have a chart. And when you're born, they say David Goggins, born February 17th, 1975 at 6 a.m. They write the chart down because they can see everything. They know exactly what you're supposed to be. They know what you're supposed to be. You die, you go to so-called heaven. You arrive at heaven, I'm 300 pounds. I retired as an Ecolab guy, which is okay, it's just a job, whatever. I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, dog, I was supposed to live that life. I was supposed to live that life. And then you find out that the reason why, because we all think that if we pray on it, if we do this, if we do that, whatever, we don't work, we just, whatever, it's gonna magically happen for us. No, I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. Whatever the chart says about me, the all-knowing power up there, I want to get up there and say, him look at me and say, I know everything. I didn't see this. I didn't see this. I want to feel that. I want to get to the other end of this world, and however I'm being judged, whoever's judging me, to look at me and say, I did not. No, I had you at 185, I had you at this, but all this other shit, I was riding as you were living it. I want to find more. All I can. And in that sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world and there is somewhere to go and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart may tell you who the you should have been. And now you get the rest of your life to think about that. Man, I could have lived a much better life if I just would have just suffered a little bit more. If I just would have went in that shit and realized I had so much more. But fear and the 40% and living here versus living here, being afraid, stopped me. So I'm a big guy in visualizing. I'm a big guy in making a world, it may not exist. To me, it does. To me, it does. And I'm overpowering myself every day. And you gotta find tools to do that. That's the tool that I use. So that's what it's all about. I became obsessed with being the baddest motherfucker that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. And I was trying to tell him, once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you gotta be balanced. To be the best in the world. It's not about being selfish. I'm trying to create a better me, so hopefully people who are hearing this are taking it the right way can say, how much time do I have to rest? I was breaking the math down. You have to be open-minded to the possibility. Happy what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and back in the daggone fire, and I just beat it harder. And I beat it harder. Before I knew it, I started realizing, all right, man. Blood down my leg and started cramping up my back, and with 30 miles to go. And my feet were broken. I was just in the worst shape, because once you stop running, not But through that process, something happened to me. And I realized this is why I feel sorry for no one. In this podcast, they're going to really not like me, because people are going to think that I am maybe lying.
Love your family and you love your last name and you're proud of yourself, then you have a duty to be massively monumentally successful, to show homage to your ancestors. I find it amazing there are people out here today who are going to sit and say, oh, I'm sad, I'm too depressed, I don't want to work hard. Do you understand that only 200 years ago there were peasants out working a field, starving, surviving the Black Death, surviving the plague, struggling to exist just to reproduce, so that 200 years later you can be the end of their bloodline, for you to sit on your ass and do fucking nothing? You're like, well, you're a fuck up. You're fucking up your entire bloodline of your entire ancestry. You owe these people things. They went through hell for you to exist. You have a debt. You have a duty to pay. You have to be the best possible version of yourself. And the same to God. God loves people who try. God loves people who work hard. It's amazing if you try your very best all the time, what God will give you. He'll give it to you, anything you want, if you actually try. Not convincing yourself you try, actually try. They're different things. But yeah, I was instilled with this because from a young age, my dad said, you're a Tate, and Tates are the greatest people on the face of the planet. And there's gonna be a day I'm not here anymore, and they're gonna talk about me because of how fantastic you are. So go do your fucking job. And I said, yes, sir. And like you said about each Tilbury being better than the last, that's exactly the way to look at it. That's how life should be. You should have a duty to your ancestry.
And my father taught that to me, and his taught it to him.
And it's disappearing from society. It used to be like, I am Andrew, son of Emery. It was all about who you're a son of.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And it's all vanishing now.
Yeah.
But you have a legacy you can build. And I love the fact that when I was growing up, when my dad walked into a chess tournament, people were scared because his name was said, and they were fearful of his last name. And now people are fearful of the last name again because of me, and they will be again because of my son. And this is the beauty of life as a man. And one of the most terrifying but also gratifying things of life as a man is that we're all born relatively valueless. I don't think women are born that way. A woman, if she's born, especially if she's attractive, has an innate value. People just want her no matter what. But as a man, if you're not an important man, nobody gives a fuck about you, and they're never going to care. So you have to build yourself from the ground up, and that's scary for a lot of people, but it's also a massive opportunity. You can decide if you want to be a famous musician or a nice sensitive poet or a painter or a kickboxing world champion or a businessman. You get to decide on all the different characters in the video game. You can choose, who do I want to be? And then if you actually try, you can become it. Isn't that amazing? You can wake up and go, you know what? I want to be this kind of guy. I knew who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the dude pulling up in the Lambo, 3 a.m, gets out. Everyone's like, who is this big, strong, rich dude? I wanted to be that man, so I became him. And if you don't want that, if you want to go be a musician and play guitar and get a bunch of chicks and chill in Bali and smoke weed, whatever, go. You can choose your character and build it. A lot of people don't have the ability to understand the compounding effect of doing the right thing time after time. Even if If you start a new business and you don't know what to do, I guarantee if you're always on time, if you're a builder and you're always on time, take the basic shit. Just be on time.
Yeah.
Over time, you may think, oh, I'm just on time. No one notices. Trust me, across 10 years, that's the difference between being a successful builder and not being a successful builder. But you know what's funny? What's funny is this. If you were to take somebody who says, I'm doing my best, I'm really trying, and you were to get an exact schedule of their last week and find all the times they've wasted time, you'd say, look, you've wasted time, wasted time, wasted time, wasted time. You know what's actually amazing? Most of those people are not even self-reflective enough to go, you're right, I'm not trying my best. You know what they'd say? Well, I have to rest sometimes. Well, I have to have a social life. Well, they'd be so arrogant because they're arrogant.
I had to do my Facebook.
Yeah. No matter, you'd even show them, here's where you fucked up. Well, you know, I have to, oh, you're crazy. And then they go back to being a loser. That's the amazing thing about losers. You can drag them to the water, but they won't drink it. You nailed it. They have no self-accountability, and you're right. A lazy person thinks he's working too hard, and a successful person thinks he isn't working hard enough. And we're doing 20 times the work they are. And we're like, oh, I could have done more, could have done this. Oh, I missed that today, can't miss that again. Oh, I should have taken that call. I should have flown there. I should have. That's, you know, we have guilt about it. They don't give a solitary fuck. And even if you pointed it out to them, they'd sit there and go, oh yeah, and they'd make some excuse for it. It's the brutal arrogance of people. It's truly brutally arrogant. I encourage absolutely everybody who finishes this podcast to go to your website and learn something. You should go and educate yourselves. These people are sitting here and they're teaching you. You've watched the entire thing. You understand there's knowledge. Are you just going to turn it off and just go back to being a dummy?
That's a great call to action, isn't it?
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's like, if you're not going to take any action at all after 2 hours of being educated, then you're going to just stay a loser.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the reality. For money, there is a number which I think is enough. I think once you get to, let's say, 20, 25 million, you can have anything you want, besides stupid shit like yachts, which doesn't even make you happy, and they're just a headache to own. Power is the problem. You have to understand what you're really chasing. And I know for me, it'll never be enough because I know I'm chasing power. Because even during the height of Corona, which educated me how important power is, I knew I can't listen to people. It's not who I am. So if I have to buy a plane to not wear a mask, I will buy a plane. So it depends what you're truly chasing. If you're truly only after money, 20, 25 million, you'll have a very good life. You'll be happy for a very long time. You don't have to live as crazy as me. But if you're after power, then it's never enough. And then you have to sit and be very smart and self-reflective and understand where you're trying to go. And it comes to a point where it becomes detrimental to you. So even me as an individual, I'm sitting here now and analyzing and thinking, if I carry on at the trajectory I'm carrying on, they're going to put me in jail because I'm too influential and I'm too dangerous. If I say I can influence an election right now.
That's a huge worry, isn't it?
It's scary for them. They're like, oh, who's this guy?
Yep.
And they've tried to get me to sell my soul. I'm not going to give too many stories, but on multiple occasions, they've tried to get me to sign contracts and offer me a bunch of money to shut up and agree to this and agree to that. And I won't do it. So now they're sitting there going, okay, there's this person with massive influence, perhaps the most influential man in the world. We've offered him to sell his soul so we can control him. He won't do it. He can influence things massively. He is a wild card. What do we do about this person? And they sit and they go, okay, well, accuse him of something, put him in jail. And if that doesn't work, then it's like, oops, car crash. That's the end. So I'm now at a position where I'm like, I have to very strongly gauge how far I want to go. Because Icarus flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
So it gets scary, right? So you have to be very self-reflective of these things. But yeah, how much is enough? I don't know. I hope I'm going to balance it just right, and I'm going to save the world and awaken people from the matrix and stay breathing as long as possible. We'll have to see how it goes. But I will say this, because I say it on every single podcast. If they lock me up for some insane bullshit, I didn't do it. And if they say I killed myself, I didn't kill myself either. It's all a fucking lie. And I'm going to say that here. I told this story before on another podcast, but Dan Bilzerian messaged me and he said, look, let's hang out. I was like, all right, cool. And I was in Bucharest. He was in France. So by the time I only wanted to go see him for a day. So by the time I got the jet, I wanted my security team to come. So I had to get the 4 security team, and they came and obviously had to pay their wage. And I put the cars on the truck to make sure they were waiting for me there in case we would decide to go for a spin. And then I landed with the security team, and everyone needs hotels. It's 8 people in a 5-star hotel. And then you're on the ground. You have to rent these V classes, armored ones to look after you. And you go, you see Dan, you talk to him for an hour, you have dinner, and then everyone gets back on the jet. By the time I saw Dan in a 48-hour whirlwind, by the time we moved the cars, which I didn't drive, and security came, etc., you spend $400,000. You spend $400,000 to go see your friend. Like, my dear, listen to me. Why do you care? It's the rules. It's the rules. Listen, there's no police. There's no camera. Why? Please use your brain. Engage your brain. I know you're some 21-year-old Polish woman who's never fucking thought of anything in her life, but please think. Why do you care? You know this is stupid. Nobody else wants me to wear one. Why do you give a shit? But these doodles. It's like they're fucking slaves. It's like their brains are programmed. You can't get through the programming. I'm like, please, my dear, think. I'll give you $500,000 if I don't put my mask on. Would you let me? But it's doodles. Like,
really?
They're fucking. I'll never give it to her, but I said it as like a thought. Like, you say it as a thought experiment, but they're their brains.
If money's no object,
but their brains are controlled. Their brains are completely controlled to the point where you can't get through to them with any form of logic. It was amazing. That was the worst period of my life, this fucking imaginary pandemic garbage. I'm a peaceful person. I've never literally walked around Earth so angry. I walked into gas stations, mask, no. You have to wear a mask, no. It's just fucking dumb shit. And I'm walking into gas, and the number of times I walk in a gas station, put a mask on. No, I won't serve you. Okay, is the gas free? Because I'll fill up. So you're going to take my money or I'm going to have free gas? No, you have to pay. Well, then fucking serve me, dummy. Put a mask on. No. It's just some stupid shit. In the end, they take my money. It was a big waste of everybody's time. And I'd say to them, bro, you're earning 700 pounds a month working for a corporation that wouldn't give a fuck about you if you got stage 5 cancer. Why do you care? If I worked in BP and someone walked into my gas station and decided to start a fire in the corner and barbecue some sausages, I wouldn't give a I'd be like, please stop, bro. Whatever. Like, why do these people, they're so fervently passionate about the rules of the BP station?
But do we need people?
You're a fucking slave in your mind. It's the full circle realization when you get to the point where, as frustrating as it was, you need this slave class of people who buy bullshit so that I don't have to do bullshit stuff, which is great. But usually the bullshit people can't tell me what to do. It's only during COVID they were allowed, and now that's all over. They can't tell me what to do anymore, so it's fine. But if you're and not everybody's mind can be free, because in society it would break down. But of course, some people's minds are designed for freedom and some people's aren't. But it's amazing when you're talking to the slave mind, trying to get through to them. And it played out even in my cancellation. There are people who would sit and get furiously angry about the subject of me saying I'm a bad person. And when you ask them one bad thing I've said, they don't know. How can you be angry about something and you don't even know why? It's all clown world. It's absolute clown world. It's slave mind, and the slave mind is actually a dangerous thing. When I'm combating it, people think I'm combating it just for fun. No, the most heinous crimes in the history of humanity have been conducted by people who blindly obey governments. Blindly. If you're going to sit there and be a dummy and blindly comply and be told to hate a certain race or hate a certain person or do a certain thing without thinking, that's how World War II happens. All these people who sit and say, I'm a good person and you're bad because I have my mask and I have my boosters and you're bad. No, I think, you don't. You're the bad people. History is full of people like you who don't fucking think, who do as they're told, and you're the ones who end up fucking murdering people, not people like me. Everyone likes to believe they would have resisted the Nazis. They're the ones who would have not done it. But then they're fucking told to mask up and bend over for the fucking dildo and they take it. It's garbage. And that's their goal, right? Their goal is to soften everybody's brains and to delete one side of the argument. This is why I talk about the Matrix. People say, why do you talk about the Matrix all the time? And I say there are people who are living right now in a computer-generated reality. If you believe everything you're watching on the news, you are believing a complete false version of reality. And the idea of that reality is to keep your brain occupied enough so that you'll continue to do a shit job for shit wages and pay your taxes until you die. That's exactly that's the plot of the Matrix movie. They're abusing your body and controlling your mind so that your body will sit there and do what they need it to do until you're no longer useful anymore. And that's exactly what's happening. And another question I get is people ask me why I'm so interested in this fight against the Matrix. And I try and explain to people that I believe this fight cannot be avoided. I think you're either combating the Matrix and fighting against the garbage they're telling you, or you're believing it. And if you believe it, then you end up fighting against yourself. You end up fighting against your own mind. You can't avoid the battle. If you're a full-grown man and you believe everything that's on the news, you're going to end up fucking semi-depressed, divorced, miserable, broke. Like your life's shit anyway. There's no way to escape this fight. You're either buying their crap and fighting against your mind, or you're fighting against their crap. There's no other way to do it. So I refuse to believe in things that take power away from me. If you are in a haunted house and you believe in ghosts, you're scared of the haunted house. If you're in a haunted house and you don't believe in ghosts, you're just in a house and you don't care. So I don't like the idea when someone explains to me the idea of one day waking up and being miserable and not wanting to live anymore, and it's nothing to do with my circumstances and I have no power over it, and no matter how good my life is, I'm still going to feel terrible and I'm going to want to die. That's not an idea I subscribe to. That's when you talk about making somebody safe, the only way you can do that is to remove their freedom. So this is what they do. They say, humans crash cars, humans can't be trusted, we're going to put this limit in place for your safety. And they're right. It is more safe, but then your freedom is eroded. And then you have to trust the people who are taking your freedom away to never abuse their power. And anybody who's read a history book and understands human nature knows that power is always going to be abused. So it's unfortunate, kind of, you know, it's hard on both sides. If you oppose it, they're like, well, don't you care about people who die in car crashes? And then if you say the other way around, it goes the other way around. So it's interesting, but the world is becoming draconian. I like to think we're fighting back, especially with the big tech censorship. That stuff's starting to go in our favor. I'm the first person who's been canceled where it's absolutely monumentally failed. And I think there's a bunch of pressure behind the dam. I think a lot of people are pissed off with these people, but what holds people back from really speaking their mind is everyone's afraid of the cancellation. Once somebody like me proves cancellation doesn't work, and we put a crack in the dam, I think it's gonna break. I think a lot of people are gonna sit there and go, you know what, Tate got canceled, he's fine. So I'll say what I mean now, and I'll say what I mean now. They can't ban everybody, right? They can't ban everyone. And it is amazing how quickly you adapt to the idea of being able to speak absolutely uncensored. Because even if you don't think you're censoring yourself on a platform like YouTube, you are. You may not think you are, but you're still sitting going, let me say it this way. And if I'm going to mention this, you know, the flu we all had to hide from, let me say it this way. That once you get used to just saying whatever you want, it's pretty refreshing. So Rumble's been absolutely amazing to me. And I think a lot of people are moving over there and making up backup channels on there. But yeah, and then Elon came and unbanned me and bought Twitter. So we're starting to win a little bit, which I think is good, because I think that without truth and without free speech, we were always going to head to absolute tyranny and slavery. Well, that's the thing. Very few people actually hate me. Since this whole cancellation and I've been walking around, et cetera, I have yet to have a single negative interaction with anybody. Male, female, adult, child, everyone loves me. The people want me to take pictures with their kids, and the women come up and they say, we love everything you say about traditionally masculine men. And I've never even had the women hate me, considering I'm this evil misogynist. Everybody likes me. But obviously there's a contingent of people who are strange in the world. But I speak my truth because I believe it's my job as a man to speak my truth. I don't do it to be liked. I speak it because I believe it, and I'm always going to do that. And if public sentiment shifted and everyone decided to hate me, I would continue to say exactly what I'm saying because it's what I believe. I'm speaking for a large group of people who feel the same way I do. I haven't put a magic spell on the world. There's a large group of people who agree with what I say, and it hasn't been said before, and I'm out here saying it, so they're going to be fervent fans. And also, I feel like a lot of the people who are fans of mine and genuinely listen to my advice, their lives improve. And that's where you have this passionate response, because if you've become a Tate fan in the last 2 years, you start to really study stoicism and really go to the gym and get in good shape and get your finances right, etc. Your life in real time has improved. So you're like, you're saying Tate's bad, he's made my life good, so I like it. So they're very passionate in their defense of me, which is fantastic. And then you obviously have the other side, the slave minds who obey anything they're told by the MSM, who've been told that I'm somehow evil. So they're passionate about disliking me. And it's interesting because the mainstream media still seems to have this power to convince these slave-minded people to believe that someone's evil with basically no evidence. This is the Guardian.
It was the Guardian.
I'd love to walk into the Guardian HQ and see all these nerds sitting, these fucking dorks, sitting there on their little computers typing away. What's amazing to me is this. Nobody seems to want to point out the fact that I am now, like you just stated, the most Googled, most famous person on the planet. Not a single female has come out and accused me of rape. Not a single female has come out and accused me of domestic violence. Not a single female has come out and said I had a negative interaction with Andrew. He was a mean person. In fact, if you were to put me up in terms of performance metrics against other people of my fame, I'm the least misogynistic man on the planet. And these fucking clowns sit here writing shit and pretending I'm somehow evil because they're slave-minded. These people work for the Matrix. They're agents of the Matrix themselves. They don't truly understand what they're doing. They are programmed completely. And this last 3 years has shown how programmed people can be. People can literally throw away their common sense, throw away their observation skills, and sit there and just absorb programming and say, Andrew is bad, inflation is good. And they're just clowns. They're clowns. I would love to sit down with the clown who wrote that article and say, why am I bad? And if we had a podcast with that person, whoever they are, that nobody, because they're a nobody, that brokey, across an hour, I would decimate them. I would destroy them. And they know it. They'd make a fool of themselves. So they just sit there and go, and hide back in their cave to talk more shit. Power is a funny thing. And most people who have power in their lives don't understand exactly how power works. And power is a fantastic thing to wield, but there's always a line. And once you overstep that line, you have a difficult choice. So we can apply it to, let's say, a government. If you're a government, you have power. If people start to riot, you can send the riot police. That's fine. But if people continue to riot and you continue to be more and more draconian and you send the riot police to, let's say, shoot at unarmed people in a crowd, like they did in Romania in 1989, for example, once you overstep the line with power, people no longer trust you with power. Once they don't trust you with power, you have mass rebellion and things must change. People who've been in charge of information for a very long time had the power, but it got to the point where after lying to everybody for 3 years, nobody trusts them with the power anymore. You can't decide what I get to read because I trusted you to decide what was good and bad for me, and you completely ruined it. So yeah, a lot of people, anyone with a brain, anyone who doesn't work for the fucking Guardian, once you can't be trusted with power anymore, now what do? Right? Because nobody wants them to have power. So people are trying to seek out information in alternative ways. So yeah, there is some divine timing with my rise. Certainly. There is some divine timing with it. But, yeah, also it still takes bravery to stand up and speak out because I have had genuine real world detriment for doing what I've done. This is the thing. It all ties into how deep you go into the matrix. Is the money that you have yours? Is the house that you own yours? Is any of it yours? You piss off a government. Piss off a government and tell me what's still yours. And you'll soon learn that none of it is yours. You think you own it. That's my money. I worked for it. I paid my taxes on it, so it's mine. It's not. And that's because if you own things, they come for you. Elon Musk tweeted it the other day. Someone tweeted Elon saying, what is the countdown until they raid Elon Musk's home for releasing the truth about what the FBI is doing with the election interference? And his response was, I don't have a home. You get to a certain level of wealth where you're like, you know what? It's easier just to not have things. I don't have anything. I can rent anything I want. If I want to stay in London for the next 10 years, I can walk into the Dorchester and take the presidential suite at £20,000 a day for the next 20 years. So who cares? I don't need a house. Like you just get beyond that point with money. So it's kind of like this middle ground. When you're broke, you own nothing, and then you start doing well and you own a bunch of stuff, and then you get to the top and you're just trying to get rid of it all and don't want to own anything anymore. It's very hard to not become a billionaire in the world today, I think, if you're truly influential. I'm already a billionaire if I had to have my net worth measured. Net worth is subjective, right? So Forbes contacted me to put me on the billionaire list, and they wanted to know everything I owned, and I told them I don't own anything, and they like, okay, well, they want to know my income. And I said, look, I'll declare to you, I'll show you maybe 20 million a month or something. And they said, okay, but, the value, obviously then you value the companies those things come from, right? You can take some of my companies people know about, like The Real World, which was previously Hustlers University. If I have a business that is making $20 million profit a month, and it is an online educational platform, the largest one in the world, and it's a subscription model, and you put an 8 times multiplier on the profit, which most tech companies could achieve, that's an $800 million business. And that's where, and I never would sell it anyway, but I know what you're saying. But then it comes into other things like branding and the brand. I'm the most Googled man on the planet. They can't ban me from algorithms. They failed. I'm the most TikToked person on the planet, the most viewed person on Instagram. Like, what's the value of that? You could give me, who makes these glasses? IKEA? This might be IKEA.
I'm not sure.
IKEA could come to me with this glass and say, sell a bunch of these, and I could sell $1 billion of these glasses. It'd take me a week. So like when I get offers, trust me, I get a lot of them. I'm not a fucking scammer like Logan Paul. I'm not a clown. But when crypto companies come to me and say, will you pump our coin? They start by offering me $50 to $65 million. They say, look, we'll give you $65 million if you'll mention this coin on a podcast. $65 million to say a name. And I don't do it because I refuse to allow my fans to get ripped off like Logan Paul does to his fans. He's a fucking scumbag. The dude's he's a person who doesn't care about his fans. He just wants to make as much money as possible off the back of people who watch him. It's different with me. I genuinely want every single Tate fan, anybody who listens to what I say, to have an improved life. I want their life to be better for listening to me, whether it's in their relationship or whether it's in their physical stature or their financial capability. The idea of a 16-year-old spending their last money on a coin because I said so and them losing money would bother me at night.
And they will lose it.
And they will lose. Of course they'll lose. Crypto is, this is what most people don't even understand about the crypto market. It's player versus player. You can only sell it for $10 after buying it for $1 because someone's buying it at $10. Someone is out to lose. So you can't launch a coin and nobody loses. This is why I haven't launched a crypto. I can make $10 billion today if I launched a crypto, but I refuse to do it because people are going to lose under my name. It's all clown world. And then you get to the point where you have to realize, do I need more money or do I want to genuinely be a force for good in the world? And I don't need money. It's the last thing I need. So I'm not going to sell my soul. Logan's obviously a brokey. So he sold his soul like a punk. And now God, then he insulted God, which was great. I didn't
see that.
He robbed all his fans and then he sat there and insulted God. And now God's teaching him a lesson. And maybe he's take his atheistic ass and go look in the fucking mirror and understand that there's powers in his universe he doesn't understand. And he can stop being an arrogant piece of shit. And he can apologize to his fans. He could take the last money in his little brokey bank account and refund it like a man would. That's what I'd do if they were insulting me. I'd go and say, look, here's my bank balance. I have this much money. I'm giving it to charity. Guy's a fucking punk. He just wants to continue to talk on podcasts and pretend his fans are going to care about him forever. Nobody respects that man any longer from the day he attacked me. Anybody who attacks me gets fucking wrecked. True Jordy lost every sponsor, got wrecked. Logan got wrecked. I'm divinely protected. These clowns need to just not say my name. So yeah, because they're people without morals. And if you have no morality on a long enough time scale, God will teach you a lesson. They're fucking morally bankrupt individuals. They're just sitting there, anything they can to grab some money from the world, fucking their fans. I knew the cancellation was coming.
Yeah.
I was prepared for a cancellation. I'll be honest, because I'm human and I don't lie. I didn't expect it to come as hard as it did. I thought they might delete my account.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to freeze 15 million pounds of banks. I didn't expect them to put a travel ban on me. I didn't expect like this kind of craziness. But you learn a lot. And I always knew that the world is, and the laws and the legal systems we live under are clown shows, and it's all a circus. And I always knew they're subjective bullshit. But when you're actually at the end of it and you're seeing how subjectively stupid laws are, it's ridiculous for them to sit there and say, Andrew said women can't park cars, so that's hate speech, so that's a crime, so that's bail, so that's a travel ban. Name a fucking dude who hasn't said women can't park. Like this is literally insanity. But the laws are all subjective. So when you're at the end of it, it's kind of interesting. I was prepared for it for a very long time. There's very old videos of me talking about how you can't live on one grid. You can't live off grid either. So the only way you can protect yourself is to live on as many grids as possible. So for a very long time, I was prepared by having multiple passports and banks all around the world and all that kind of thing. So they failed to damage me like they wanted to, but it was an interesting few months. I feel uncomfortable with a lot of money in my bank. So that's another thing. Like I'm now at the point where I don't really carry money at all. I don't have any way of paying for things because anytime I'm anywhere, I'm with like my PA or my security team, whatever. So it's almost weird how quickly you get used to like walking in somewhere, eating, and just walking out. I don't pay, and someone else sits and pays for me.
Sorts it.
So, yeah, so it's weird. I don't pay for anything. I don't have any money. I don't look at the price of anything. I don't look at the price of anything. If a new car launches and I want it, I just say, give me this and
Sort it.
yeah, literally, give me one. What options? All of them. Just tick every box, buy. And cars turn up at the house that I've forgotten I've bought, and I was always fairly well off. But in the last, I'd say 3 years, I got to a point where money is truly not real. Money has no value whatsoever for me anymore. So if I want something, I'll just buy it. And I spend ridiculous amounts of money on stupid things. I know
So what are some stupid purchases?
No, but I compare it to my old life, right? Because I'm from a council estate in Luton. So me and Tristan will sit around.